Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're thrilled to have you here with us today. In this session, we're diving deep into Zelt's powerful reporting capabilities, showing you how to streamline and customize data insights tailored for your team's unique needs. We'll cover key features, from creating dynamic personalized reports to managing complex data permissions effortlessly. Our goal for us here at Zelt? To give you the tools to make sense of your HR data faster and more effective. Joining us today are Zelt's own product and customer experience leaders, Delia and Polina, who will demonstrate how you can track metrics like headcount, payroll, and employee demographics with ease. With that in mind, let's jump right in.
Hello, welcome everyone to our webinar. We are going to give it a couple more minutes for more people to join. In the meantime, just some housekeeping rules. You can ask questions in the chat and we'll try to get through them at the end of the session or throughout the session if they're relevant for the specific subject we are talking about right then. And we'll have the webinar recorded, so we will share the recording afterwards. And this is our second webinar that we've done. We're still getting the hang of it, so we're happy to see you all here. And I'm going to give it another minute until we'll get started. Can everybody hear me all right? Just leave a message in the chat. Yeah, all good. Okay, great. Amazing. Thanks a lot. Okay. Great. So I think we have a few people in already. So let's get started. Once again, welcome to today's webinar. For those of you who don't know me yet, I am Delia. I look after customer experience at Zelt, and I've probably spoken to most of you who are in this meeting. I also have here my colleague Polina, who's our head of product, who's going to help with Q&As and maintaining the tone of the webinar.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, looking forward to this, Delia, so I think we can just jump right in.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get started. So just to give a short introduction of how this is going to work. So we are going to go through our newish feature. It's been in beta up until recently, which is reports. We are going to show you some basic report creation tips and tricks and go through some more specific reports. We are going to show you how permissions play a role into seeing or creating reports, and also leave some room for your questions at the end throughout the session. Okay, so the way it's going to go, I'm going to share my screen. Again, for those who have joined a bit later, you can leave your questions in the chat, and we'll look at them throughout this session or at the end. Cool, so I will start sharing my screen. And please let me know if you can see it, like with an emoji reaction or a note in the chat. Okay, great. Thank you all for confirming. Cool. So, to give a short introduction about our reporting tool, because it might be seem like it's a bit different than the other reporting tools. There's not a lot of prepackaged things in it. That's because we want to keep it as customized as possible. So, the entire Zelt platform is super customizable. As you can see, you can add your own custom fields, and yeah, you can track things that yeah, are not part of the standard format of an HR platform. So reports are also super customizable. The way we build it, so the principle that we used to build them was to be able to give you access to all the information that is held in the employee's profile. And that information can be seen all at once in a raw data kind of way. It can be aggregated, it can be counted, and it can be averaged out, and so on. Also, all this information can be downloaded into your Excel. It can be shared. So a cool feature that we're going to go through is how to share reports, report links, and it is with people out inside your organization, and how they can access the data. So yeah, let's get started. I've created here a few example reports that we can go through, but I want to start by creating a report from scratch. So right now I am in my role as a company admin, and I want to create a report to see the type of situation that I have in the company. So whenever, just to give a quick run through, the reports are found in the reports section here on the left side. And if I want to create my own report from scratch, I can go to the reports part, click on your report, and by default I have a few columns and a filter that's already been applied. So I have the full name, life cycle status, and the start date of the employees. So all the employees that are employed in my system, in my company right now. So now I can use the columns to get information about something that maybe I want to track, or I want to check if something is missing in the employee's profile. So let's say I want to see employee's gender. I can search for the column here, and I can add this column here. If I want to see it in a specific way, for example, I want to see the gender column first, I can just drag and drop it here. I can remove this life cycle status and start date if I don't need this kind of information. Also, maybe I want to make sure that I've kept track of the employees who have, or I can let the employees that haven't filled in their gender. I can see who they are and nudge them to do that. So I can filter by gender, and I can say gender is unknown. So if I apply this filter, I can see that these employees haven't filled in their gender information. Um, let's say I want to analyze the data that I have. I can use the filter of gender is known. And now I can have an overview of the genders within my company. If I want to just know how many male, female I have, I can remove this and I can count. oh, actually, I can create a separate and I can filter here again by gender is equal to male. I can now see how many males I have in my company, or it's equal to female. I can also, I see here that my numbers have decimals. I don't need decimals in this case. So in this aggregation section where I go, I can select the format of the number I see. So I can rename this report and save it. I can then, if I still need to, I want to know the employee's name for per gender, I can remove the aggregation, add the employee name back, and now I can filter to see which people are part of which gender. I can then, for example, add a department. Name, I can remove the name and I can count how many females I have in each department, or change to how many males or non-binaries I have in my departments and update this report. I can also create a report to see how many people are employed in this point of time in my company, so a headcount report. So I can have this filter of life cycle status is employed, which will show me all the employees that are employed at this point in time. And I can remove this and just count the people that are employed right now. So I have a few pre-prepared reports to show you how what it looks like, and what are the type of things that you can track using reports. So first of all, we have this gender pay report. So in this gender pay report, I wanted to see the gender pay, the maximum gender pay per department and per gender. So in order to do this, I've created a report where I've added the department name, the gender, and I've added the salary rate. And I used the aggregation of seeing the max salary rate. Then in filters, I've selected the employees that are currently active and where the gender is known. And I've created this report where I can have a breakdown per department of what's the max salary per gender, which I can download and manipulate the way that I want for my reporting and information. Another type of report that's quite popular is a payroll report. So I know a lot of you have been asking of having an easily accessible gross to net report. So we've now added this, and It can be built easily by selecting the columns that are needed in or that you need to see for payroll analysis, which is the payment date, the name of the department, the income, the PAYE tax, employer and employee tax, take-home pay, and employer and employee pension and total employer cost. You can then use the filters to make sure that you get the information for this specific month. So for example, you can select whether you want to see this for if you're running multiple payrolls, if you want to see for the weekly payroll or the monthly payroll. And you can select the payment date, which is the payment date from your payroll. And you can, if you want it to update every month, you can select that payment date is this calendar month. This will show you the data for October. Since it's this calendar month, when you're in November, it will show you the data for November. Another super popular type of report is the report on the uh, different types of absence. For example, when you need to know how much has an employee been off, for example, sick in a specific period of time. So to do that, you would uh, probably need this the employee name, life cycle status. Maybe it's not that necessary, or the employee's start date. You need to add the policy name, which is the name of the absence policy, the start date, and of the sickness leave, the leave. Then here, if I want to focus on sickness in my filters, I will filter by policy name, and I can select contains any of sick. I can also select, for example, if I want sick and PTO, I can add this value here. Do I have a policy that's called PTO? Or let's say work. So now I can see sick leave and work from home. If I want to see the amount of days that have been taken sick on a specific period of time, I can select that I count the policy name, and I can see the number of days these employees have taken. Again, this is a very highly customizable report, and you can use it for to see every type of leave, length, duration, and so on. Another interesting thing is that you can run reports on custom fields. So for example, if you create a new field in customization and it's in the personal, and you want to create a hoodie preferred color, you can create a custom field here. Then let's say the employee will go in and fill in this information. Let's quickly fill it in for a couple of employees. And then I can run a report on this custom field that I've just created. I can also see who has filled in. So same principle, I can select that who the preferred color field is known, and I can see what the employees have filled in. And I can save this report as hoodie. And as the employees start to fill in more and more information in this field, this report will auto refresh with the kind of information that has been filled in. I've also created one here, for example, for the pet's birthday. I have here the name of the employee, and I can add the column pet's birthday. I can see that a few of my employees have filled it in. I can select that the pet's birthday is known. And if I want to prepare something for the pet's birthday of one of the employees, like send them some treats, I can select, okay, pets whose pet's birthday is next, let's say 14 days or maybe more. Yeah, anyways, as per usual, something I haven't used the filter right, but you get the idea that yeah, this is how you can look at and filter the data to get the reports that you need. Another use case that you can use the reports on is, for example, to count how many people are ending their probation in the next month. And I have this report here with the probation end date. So I've started the report. I've only selected the probation end date, and I've selected this count, and I can add actually, yeah, I've added the probation end date twice. So this column is based on the field probation end date, because you can also update the name of the label. So I want to count how many people are ending the probation in what month. So in this first field with the probation period end date, I can select the aggregation to be on month only. And now I can see that I have 10 people who, 4 people who are ending their probation in October, and 2 people who are ending their probation in November. So maybe to start to recreate this report, I would go into a new report and add probation end date. I will remove the other columns. I will add again probation end date. And I want to keep this as a count, so I can change the label for my report here, and I can add it as a count. And then the actual date I can aggregate on month only, and I can see the breakdown per months. And also I have to make sure that yeah, the filter is applied, that I see it only for employees who are still in the company. So this type of report can be used for anything like I don't know, start date, end date. So you can count how many people are joining or leaving in a specific month using this type of report. Um, I can create a simple headcount report or a simple headcount report per department. I can, for example, keep track of the attendance that the employees have submitted, and I can select how to aggregate it. I can count the amount of entries that the employees had, or yeah, total hours that they have logged. Um, are there any questions up to this point? Okay. Yeah. While I wait for questions to be asked in the chat, I will move on to show you how permissions affect being able to run reports for employees that are not uh, part of the admin permission group. So I have here my permission settings where I have my manager group, and my manager doesn't have access to the compensation profile. So if I go in and log in as this manager, and okay, I will log in as Angela, who is a manager here. And I will go into this salary report that Angela has access to. I can see that she can only see the information that she does have access to. So when it comes to compensation information, it's not shown in the reports, and she doesn't see these columns because she doesn't have permissions to see compensation. If she were to create a new report, she won't even be able to select these columns. If I go back into the admin account and give her full access, I will give her full access to the compensation profile. When she goes back to run the report, you see that she doesn't see the red attention pay attention signs, that she doesn't have access to this, and now she can see the salary rate and basis. And if she creates her new report, she is able to add this information here. Obviously, Angela, because she's a manager, she will only see the information for the people that are in her team, so not for other people. There are cases where you want to give access to people who are not part of the manager group to create reports for a specific topic. And you can do that by creating the permission group that they are part of and give them access to the, so the access that they have here to the specific domains will be able to only either see these kind of domains in an already created report. So let's say they've been an admin in the past, they've created a report and now they want to check it back, but they don't have access to this information anymore. They won't be able to see it. Or if they create report, if they create a report, they will only be able to add the domains that they have access to. To answer the question from Harriet about one of my managers wants to see a report for a holiday for all their teams, but they can only see for their direct report. Okay, so if a manager can only see information for their immediate direct reports, what you need to do is go into the manager permission settings, and here you have this level of reports, and you can select that the manager, if they're a head of department, have access to all of the direct and indirect members of their team. So all their direct and indirect reports. And you can save that, and then they will have access to the whole data across their entire team. And we have this question from Elada about generating a report over a specific period of time. So for example, seeing leavers in the last 6 months. Thanks, Polina, for sharing the link. So basically, yeah, you can create a report in an account and you can share it, and that person who gets the link will only see the information in their own account with the data that they have access to. But to create this report from scratch, we can go here. We can search for the column that contains the employee's leave date. I will remove this life cycle status of employed because employees are not leavers. So now I have this leave date. I can also remove the life cycle status. I may not need it, the start date as well. And then I can filter by leave date. And leave date, I can select if it's between specific dates. Let's say between the 1st of January and end of this month. Or I can see leave date is last 90 days. So I can use this, so I can add the leave date as one of the columns and then use the filters to see the data that I am interested in. Cool. Yes, to go back to permissions a little bit. So let's say I have this person who has permissions to specific types of data for the company, so not all the data. Let's first remove the reports access and see how his profile looks like. So he can create reports only with the type of information that he has access to. So for example, let's try, he can see the salary basis that is annual, but he cannot see the rate. But let's try to add absence, so he can add absence, status, name, because he has full access to this. If I go back to his permissions and give access to reports, if he goes to reports, he can see all the reports that have been created, which is different from Angela, who was a manager, and I'll explain in a second why. Uh, so he can see all the reports that has been created because he has access to the reports, but if he doesn't have access to certain parts of the app, he will not be able to see any of the information that's in that report. So for example, he doesn't have access to payroll information. He won't be able to see that information even though he can access the report. When we went to Angela's profile, who's a manager, she could only see the reports that she created because those she has full access to the reports about her team, and the only reports created about her team were the ones created by her. Um, cool. I think so. I think these are pretty much all the kind of flows that you can use and the dependencies that need to be kept in mind when it comes to creating a report, to making sure that the right people see the right information. So permissions play an important role here. Also to make sure that you have a basic understanding about how to use the filters, the aggregation, and the columns to create a type of data that you need. I think for the next 20 minutes that we have, I'll open the floor to any questions that you might have. Also, yeah, if you want to um, revisit the information or try things out on your own and ask questions afterwards, obviously you can reach out to us at any point. And yeah, once again, I think the main points to keep in mind is that even though it can look a little bit overwhelming with all the columns that you have to choose from, all the columns are exactly the columns that contain the information that's already held in the employee's account. Yes, to look at Mariana's question, how can you create a report for the paid pension contributions per month? Sure. So this would be here. And I will put pension. Let's say employee pension. Employer pension. So I can add this here. I can add the filter because maybe not everybody is paying pension. I can select that the employee pension is known. And in order to see it per pay period, I can add column. Payment date. So I can see here that I have two entries for Angela and Alan. One is for October, one is for November. So if I want to only see the one for October, I can select payment date in filters. And I can select is this. And now I'll see their contributions for the month of October. Um, to show you quickly how to share this report as a URL with other members of your team, you just need to go into actions and share report as the URL, and then if you paste this link, they will get a link to the report, also only seeing the things that they have access to. Another yeah, so here, I mean, the UX of the reports app is pretty much similar as the other parts of the app. So in actions, you can export, delete, save the new report, or share the URL. You have this button that will refresh the data in the report. So if something has been updated and you immediately want to check it in the report, you can use this this button to refresh the report with the latest data. I guess one of the other reports that's quite popular is a change report. So for example, if somebody has let's say added bank account information, and I want to see who has changed their bank account information in the last month, I can select the columns effective about the bank account information, and then add the effective date for bank account, and select that the effective date is this month. And then I can see who's changed their bank account information during this month. Okay, unless there are any other questions or any other comments, I think, yeah, we can wrap it up kind of by saying some of the things that are coming up next. So we're, as you know, continuously working on making everything user friendly and as easy as possible to use. So this is just a first step in, yeah, uh, at some point reaching to a point where you just have to chat into an AI, to type into an AI what kind of report you want, and for us to be able to create it, for the AI to be able to create it for you. That's something that we are working towards. But yeah, in the meantime, feel free to play around with the reports, and yeah, as usual, reach out with your questions and suggestions on the existing channels. Um, One of the main channels that we answer the questions is support@zelt.app, where we try to get back to you as soon as possible. And also, yeah, the existing channels that you know. I thank everyone for being here. I have been a bit nervous because, it's been a while since I've talked to a big group of people, even if it's only virtually. Um, I hope you've learned some new things, and yeah, we'll share the recording with you, and we'll also share a survey for you to give us your suggestions for next webinars. Um, and once again, yeah, thanks so much for being here. And yeah, thanks for working with Zelt and being such great feedback providers and partners. Um, yeah, I wish you a great rest of the day and a great I don't know, end to the week. We're already